All right, welcome back to another episode of The Adventure Guys. Today's episode is really exciting. We've got a lot of stuff to build on the bikes. We just got a big package of protective equipment, and it's something we've been looking forward to for a long time. So stay tuned. We have been waiting for a big shipment from Moskomoto for a long time. I've been dreaming about it for years, and now the UPS truck is finally here. It said it was going to come yesterday, and I waited forever for it to come, and it didn't come, and now it's here today. So it's really exciting.
Let's go see what you got. Moskomoto bags have arrived.
So today's a really big day. We've been waiting for these bunch of packages to come in. It's one of the biggest things we can put on our bike for adventure travel on a motorcycle, and it's all from Moskomoto. So we really look forward to opening this up. This is going to be our panniers and duffel bags and everything we need to really be sustainable vehicles off-road. So super cool.
Heaven.
Okay.
Oh man.
It is.
Nomax, right? Or no,
These are the 40 liter or 4 liter external pockets that go on the
outside.
panniers. Yeah.
Sweet.
This is the duffel packs that go on the back and then turn into backpacks as well. Got 2 of those. Ooh. Oh, these are the Nomax tank bags. These will be the bags that go up front. That's what those Hydro packs are for.
No way.
And then they make their own straps, which work really well with their stuff. Straps. And then these are their new Woodsman over the boots pants, enduro pants. This is like amazing. I can't wait to try all this stuff on. But yeah, this is, wow, look at the leather on there.
Yeah, so this is
The 25 liter, we call it the backcountry panniers. So these will go on the rack. We ordered a rack that'll be coming in tomorrow, hopefully from Outback Motor Trek, and it'll take these panniers on it. Wow. That's crazy.
That is insane. Wow, I'm so excited to see all this stuff on the bikes. Feels like Christmas.
Yeah, I can't believe how much there is to it. It's amazing.
All right, guys, so as you can see, I have finished mounting my Outback Motor Trek X-Frame rack to my 690. It was a very simple install. I'm very happy with it. Just the bottom of the rack is supported where the passenger foot bags used to be. You just take off the passenger foot bags, use the same hardware, it's 2 bolts. And then on the top where the grab handles used to be is where the top will be supported. You just take the grab handles off, it's 2 bolts again, mounts right in, everything fit nice, is very simple. And then on the back here we got a back brace. Is again very simple, it's just 4 bolts and you're good to go. We have mounted our Moskomoto slides on here. So this is the piece that actually allows the Moskomoto pannier to slide onto the bike to mount onto the rack. So yeah, it was a very simple install. It didn't take too long. Really happy with it, and now it's time to put the panniers and the bags on. Can't wait to see what they look like.
So as you can see here, this piece is mounted to the pannier, and with this little tab you can slide it out, and it's got this little spring on it. So when you want to take it on and off, putting it on, just slide it on and it clicks. And then say it's full of stuff and we got our duffel on there. You want to take it off when we're in camp because I have things I want. You just pull this tab and lift up on it and it comes off. Really easy. Alright, so the first pannier is on, and I'm going to mount the second one, and then I'm going to use the straps. We got Stratcher straps from Moscow to mount the duffel. And once all that's mounted, I'm then going to take off one of the panniers, or both of the panniers, and then get their auxiliary pockets. They're called aux boxes. They're these guys here. They're about 4 liters for each one. You mount them on the sides of the panniers. There's these little holes for screws that go in there, and they solid mount on the sides. And then that just gives you an extra, in total 16 liters So it'll bring our storage amount up to 106 liters. These we'll mostly use for those MSR fuel bottles. We're gonna put like fuel in them, obviously, our engine oil, probably some coolant or other stuff, and various other things. What we got with them as well as these dry bags. So each one of these dry bags can roll up and go into the auxiliary pocket, so they can be used for whatever. If it's just the fuel, I'll probably just keep them in the pack itself, and then these pockets will allow us to put whatever we want in it. It'll keep it dry and safe from the elements, which is really awesome. Okay, so a big thing with traveling on a bike is you need to preserve the vehicle in order to make it to your destination, or just make it out of wherever it is you are in the backcountry. When I got in an accident, I cracked my stator case. It completely shattered, basically. The basic cases are made out of some sort of magnesium alloy or something like that, and they're pretty fragile, especially when you're hitting something like a rock or a tree, or even if you tip over with a lot of weight on your bike, and it can crack or dent it. And then you can't even run the engine, and there's no real way to fix that. So after that happened, it really made us aware of the danger of some sort of critical failure like that. We'd already had crash bars and everything else on, but it still cracked through that. So we got these stator and clutch case guards. They're made by a company called Trail Jammer Designs. They're an extra 2 millimeters of aluminum that go over your case, and they're just one of the cleanest designs to me. First of all, they're aluminum, so they're better than a lot of the plastic or carbon fiber ones you see. The carbon fiber ones seem pretty nice as well. I think Tecmo and a few other companies make them, but it's just kind of blingy, and I feel like I'd be really sad if I dropped it and it scratched on it or anything else like that. Then also, carbon fiber isn't the best for punctures. It can crack. This aluminum helps a lot with punctures and bashes and everything else, and it's really unobtrusive on the engine. You're not putting a big thing of plastic or carbon fiber all the way around the entire thing, insulating thing even more, first of all. But then also, it's just I think a really beautiful design, and with more protection than most of the cases you can get out there. So that was something, really nice to get on there. It adds to the protection that we got from our crash bars and our skid plate, and just gives us more peace of mind there. And speaking of protection, we got another piece that's pretty critical. It's something made by a company that I believe is pronounced Vinacci Motorsports. They make a rear disc guard for your rear disc of a 690 and some other bikes, but this is a really thick piece of aluminum that gets mounted where the Brembo brake calipers mount is on your axle. This covers your disc brake in case you drop down onto a rock or you bash into something and it will dent it or scratch it really bad or damage it in some way that makes it unusable, which would be really bad if you're out on the trail. This is just a beefy piece. It's it's fairly heavy because it's so thick and strong, but that's also, I think, worth it. This sort of weight in protection is 99% of the time worth the weight that it adds to the bike. And this is something I really like because I just wouldn't want to have my brakes messed up when I'm out on the trail. So this is the bikes with all the bags on them. We've been spending the past few days getting them configured, what gear we're going to be taking, splitting the weight evenly between the two panniers, and deciding what bag's going to carry what. And I think I've got it down pretty good. So in this pannier, I'm going to have our fuel source, which is going to not only be a potential auxiliary fuel for the tank, but it's going to be the fuel for our camp stove. It's something made by MSR. I forget the name of it, but it has a fuel line that goes into one of these 1 liter red MSR fuel bottles. So that's what that's for. I've got our original KTM bag up here. It's got all the standard tools we'll need, and then extra tools for the bikes in case anything happens, or just for regular maintenance on the trail. And then in this bag, I will be carrying my camping stuff. So a small pillow, our backpacking sleeping bags, etc. Some sleeping gear, and a few other things. In the other auxiliary pocket, I still have to decide what I'm going to be putting in there. Probably an extra pair of gloves and a hat and stuff. Stuff for if the weather changes while we're on the road, I can just unclip that, pop it out, roll it back up, and it's done. In the duffel, I have a 4-person ultra lightweight tent. This is a tent that we've used for 6 months when we spent 6 months in New Zealand.
We slept in it every single day. We've used it on numerous backpacking trips after that. I really know this tent. Like I said, it's an ultralight. It's designed for backpacking. It's got that ultra lightweight design, and it fits perfectly on the duffel. They have that this pocket here, which will also have a map, and the tent poles will be in a separate pocket that's on the top of the backcountry bag. Within the duffel itself, keeping it light since it's a higher up bag, I want to keep all of my weight down low if possible, is going to be my clothing. So I'm packing for roughly a month. I don't need that much clothes, but I've got exactly what I need and a bit of extras in case we come into a lot of muddy or rainy weather, and it's a pretty lightweight bag up top. In the other duffel on the other side, I have packed all of our kitchen stuff. So I've got the stove, the food, and I've got med kits going in there. So up front is where our tank bags are going to be. So this is the Nomax tank bag. In the front of it, I have the rain cover for this bag. So the Nomax is a bigger bag. It is water resistant, but it is not 100% waterproof. So if it really starts to become a deluge, I'm gonna take this bag out, cover it up, or if we're going through a ton of crazy river crossings, water puddles and everything else, that tank bag will go over it. In the next pocket, I have our Spot. This is a GPS device that can get help to you if you need it, or a one-way communication talker. We also will have on our person the Garmin Explorer Plus InReach, and that has a two-way communication where I can type to our Jeeps or to first responders or people outside of the situation that we're in, or where they can get help to us. So the Spot is just mainly going to be for quick grab. If I couldn't type or something, I can just push SOS on that if I'm stuck on my bike, or I can't reach into a pocket. It's just this is really a backup of a backup, emergency communications. Then in the little pockets here, I've got like sport beans, or like energizing jelly beans. I've got a electrolyte pack, and then in a pocket above it, I've got some Advil and Pepto-Bismol, Tums, quick access stuff for if you get a sore stomach or other things like that. Just have it all near to hand. Then in the front, the main compartment here of the tank bag, I've got another little med kit. This is gonna have stuff for major trauma that'll be right in front of me. I won't have to go into my other bag. I'm gonna have some stuff that I can just get to hand quickly. Got a tourniquet. I'll also be most likely carrying one on my person in a jacket pocket. A nasopharyngeal airway, and then some combat gauze. This has got like a quick clot mixed in the gauze. So something for small for some major trauma, like an instant treatment, if it's for myself or if I have to just go to someone and it's got some stuff to do it. All of this I'll be building and experimenting with further, but this is just what I have in it after we built it. Then in this rear large pocket, you can see this coming out of it. If you're familiar with a camel pack or a hydro pack, this tank can have a I think it's a 1 liter or a 1.5 liter hydro pack within a pocket that's up here. Okay, so this is actually a 2 liter hydro pack. It'll be sitting in the front of the bag here. It's full of water. I'll probably add electrolytes or something to this tank in particular, because I'll also be carrying a camel pack or hydro pack on my back. I'll use this one with some electrolytes or Gatorade mix in case we're in the desert or just sweating a lot. I'll know that this one will always have something to kind of revitalize my body a bit. So I'll be putting other things in here, like a hat, a pen. I'm gonna have a little booklet that's gonna have all the stats on the bike, like what our suspension's set to, our fuel economy and basic things like that. It'll all be right in the tank bag in front of me. One of the most important roles that this tank bag will be playing for me personally is I'm gonna carry glucose in here, emergency glucose. So me being a type 1, if I'm going low on the bike, I don't always want to have something on my person. I will always carry stuff in my pockets, as I always do, but this way I'll have a supply of extra glucose. And I'll also have, I think I skipped over it, but I have 2 extra pods, insulin pods in here. It's what I wear on my person. It delivers insulin to my system. Those will be in here. They don't need to be kept cool. This is a good, safe place for them, and somewhere I always know they're there, easy to get to. And it's mostly here because I have a big supply of them in the Jeeps. Within here, each pod lasts about 3 days. If I have 2, I have another 6 days worth of that. And I also have with my Yeti pack, which I keep in my medical pannier. I've got a small Yeti pack. I think they call it their day tripper or something. It's like this little fold over Yeti bag cooler. I keep all my insulin in there, or half of my supply. That'll be in one of my panniers with the medical kit. And then in here will be a couple extra pods and my PDM, which is the device that controls my whole, pod system, everything. So this bag is nice because I can have just about everything I need right to hand, right in front of me. I can pop this thing off and it becomes a backpack, and I can carry it with me as a quick go bag. We can have bear spray and other things in the front. That's something I may have, or any sort of personal protection. So that's really the benefit of having a bigger tank bag for us, is that we can carry a lot of what we need and have it right in front of us, right to hand when we need it. So you sacrifice a little bit of your space to move your body forward and other things. You can still come pretty far forward with this bag, but it's definitely a worthy trade for me to have all that space for all the medical gear, etc. So this is our bikes as they're configured now. I will certainly be messing around with other things. I've been weighing everything right now. Each of my panniers weighs about 17 pounds, and my top bag weighs 21 pounds. So I'm still fairly light. You're obviously adding a lot of weight, and that's one major thing we've been doing, is messing with rear suspension. So I've been tuning the suspension, changing the sag and everything as much as we can. I'm about 172 pounds right now. So I fit within what KTM builds their suspension on. Their average rider is about 175. We're within a good range. Do not need to revalve and respring right now for a shorter trip. In the future, that may be something we do just to keep the performance of the bike at its peak. But this stuff is it's like trying to drive without a rooftop tent and go camping out of your Jeep. And if you don't have a setup in your Jeep, like a goose gear sleeping platform, you need to have bags of some sort of configuration. We chose the panniers and the backcountry. It's a bigger setup compared to, like, if you went, I know Moscow has what they call their reckless setups. They've got like I think a 10 liter, 40 liter, and a 80 liter. The 80 liter is something we considered, but it's a little easier to live out of a pannier. It's just unclip and you've got a big box of storage where you can pull stuff out and put stuff in without having to really roll up and go tight. But if you're on smaller enduro bikes, or if you are really keeping everything tight to the bike and packing up small and as light as you possibly can, the rackless system is a great way to go. This is the way we went for what we hope to be the best setup for world travel for us. So everything is customizable with these bags, and with anything, the rack systems you go up, what you pack in them. And for us, it'll be something we are changing probably constantly. The bags have been, like I said, we've been researching these things for years, looking into Moscow and looking forward to getting them. So we knew we wanted this stuff, but what goes in them will always change depending on the trip. So we're very excited for what's coming up next, and we really look forward to hitting the road and the trails with these things. Well, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned for a ton of epic content coming out soon, where all this prep and all the finishing build is going into this next trip we're going on, which will be over a month, just hitting BDRs and off-road trails all the way into the southern states. So it's something we're dying to get out and start doing, and we now have everything we need. So please subscribe to the channel and leave a comment below if you have anything to say or any suggestions on packing or suspension. It's all interesting information, and yeah, this is gonna be fun.